Good morning, I am Kiran Raj. Welcome to the online classes on data structure. Today we will discuss about second part of arrays, records and pointers. In the previous class we have discussed about linear arrays and ADT, that is abstract data type. As I already mentioned in the previous class, preliminary data type, or when you are having any data types, it is mentioning about two things. The first thing is what you are going to store in those data structure, that is the basic need, and second thing, what are the operation that you can perform on that particular data. For example, when I am saying int data type, that means it can only hold integer value, that is a basic one, or it shows that what is the domain value it can hold, and another one, what are the operation it can be performed on them. For example, you can perform addition, multiplication, modulus, bitwise operation, you can multiplication, subtraction, you can perform every operation mainly on the integer type. But let us go for the float data type. What is a domain? It can hold floating point number. But what about operation? Yeah, it can also perform most of the operation, but it cannot perform bitwise operation or the modulus operation. So when you are having the data type, both are defined. That is, what is a domain value or what it is going to hold, and what are the operation. While coming to user defined data type, we cannot do that. Why? Mainly because user defined data type like structure, union or enum, it is a collection of our own data type. So you can have the combination of different data types there, right? So you cannot say that this is the operation it is going to be completely, okay? And while coming to the abstract data type, you are going to have the data type or the data structure. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to define the value and the set of operation on it. But how the operation is done, you are not disclosing that. You are trying to define the value and the operation on it, but you are not going to discuss about the how the operation is implemented. For example, if I am having the stack data structure, as you all know, I can perform push operation, pop operation. I have to check whether it is empty or it is full, right? So what am I going to do? I'll only mention is, empty and function. But I'm not going to mention what is the implementation part of it or how it is implemented. I'm only give the function. So now I can come to know, okay, it is taking these values and it is going to perform this operation, that it is going to perform or check whether it is empty or not. Or when I am saying push, that means I am pushing the value to that particular data structure. So I know what is the value it can take and I know what is the operation it can do. That means it can take the value. But I am not mentioning how the push operation is done on that particular stack or how the push operation is implemented. It is like black box. You know the input, you know the output, or you know the input and some operation is done and you know the output also. But what is done inside that black box or what is implemented, how it is done, you will not be coming into know that, or that is hidden part. Implementation part is hidden. representation of the linear arrays, that is LA in memory. Linear arrays is a data structure where the elements or the items are arranged in a sequence of memory allocation, that is called as linear array. Now let us go for the how it is represented. Since it's a linear memory or the linear arrays, the memory is going to be continuous one. If it is starting with 1000, then next one is 1, 2, 1003, 1004, and like that it goes on. Okay. Now let us say that you want to find the location of the some particular element. That time how we are going to represent LOC, that is location of LA of K. What is K? K is the index. First index, second index, third index, fourth index, fifth index, like that. It is a index. For example, if I want to have the location or the memory address of the, let us say that my index value starts from 1, then 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4th location. So K is 4, then LA of K is this value present here, and log of LA of K is 1003. That is the address of the element LA of K in LA, that is in linear array. Since it is a continuous memory allocation, when any array is done or when any array data structure is created, your computer is not going to keep track or keep note of every memory allocation. What it is going to do? The computer or your compiler, it is only going to keep note or it is only going to keep track of the first memory allocation in the linear array. Only the first memory allocation or the memory allocation of the first element. Memory allocation of the first element in the linear array. And that is denoted by base of LA. We can call it as base address of linear array. Then what about other memory allocation? For assessing other elements, right? Now I can only assess the first element of the linear array using the base of LA. But what about other elements? For that purpose, we have the formula and we are going to apply that formula, and using that formula we can calculate the what is the address of that particular memory allocation. For example, if I want the second index element, then I am going to calculate that memory allocation, or your compiler or your computer is going to calculate that memory allocation, and after it gets the memory allocation or memory address, then it will go and fetch that value present in the memory address. How to calculate the memory address? For any log of LA of K, K is the index value, base of LA plus W, that is the word length, or you can say size of your data type, of what? Of K minus lower bound. Lower bound is the initial or the lowest index value. Upper bound is the highest index value that is present with you. Okay. As I already mentioned, W is the number of words per memory cell. Now let me take one example. See here, this is how your memory will be. This is a 200 memory allocation. This is a 201, 203, 203, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now let me consider this is the first index. First index. Okay. That means lower bound is 1. Now let me consider this array name is LA. Array name is LA. Okay. And let me consider this array LA is of integer type. It is of integer type. So what is the property of integer type? Integer type can store integer value. What about other things? It can perform all the operation or it can perform most of the operation. Okay, that is another thing. What about the another property? Or how much memory allocation it can take? Depending on your processor or depending on your compiler, in certain cases it consumes 2 byte and in certain cases it consumes 4 byte, depending on whether it is 32 bit or the 64 bit. For this example, let me consider it is taking 2 bytes for this example. Okay, that means this is allocated to the first element. What about this one? This is allocated to second element. So what is the index? Index is 2. What about this one? This is allocated to third element. What about this one? This is allocated to fourth element. What about this one? This is allocated to fifth element. Okay, you need another one here, but let me have that. Okay, now this is allocated to sixth element. So what is the upper bound value? Upper bound is obviously 6. Correct? Okay. What is the W value? That is length or the size. I assume that it is going to only take 2 bytes. Okay. Now let me consider I want the address or I want to access the third element, that is third index element. Third element. That means I want to access this one. This position. Okay. Now base address is known to the computer or base address only is kept track. So what is my base address? Base address is 200. Okay, 200. Now let me do the calculation, right? Log of LA of K, that is log of linear array of 3 is equal to base of LA. What is base of LA or what is the initial address of the LA? 200. It is the address of the first element, 200, plus W. What is the size that I have taken? I have consider it as word size is 2 for integer type for this program. So have that 2. So it is of 2. Okay. What about K? K is 3. Okay. Now let me do the calculation. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 plus 200 is 204. Whether that is a memory allocation of the third element? Yes, it is a memory allocation of the third element. Operation of the linear arrays. The first operation is traversing. What do you mean by traversing? Traversing means you are visiting every element in the array, or you are processing every element in the array. When I say processing, it can be anything. Either you may be filling the data or you are performing any mathematical operation or you are assessing the data, or you are just going and visiting the data, checking whether data is present or not. Now let us write the algorithm for the traversing the linear array. Okay. Now, so again let me take that my array name is LA. Okay. And my lower bound value, what is the lower bound value? Lower bound value is the lowest index value that is present with me. That is LB. UB is the upper bound and it is the highest index value for that particular array. And what about index here? I am using K as my counter to keep track of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how to do the algorithm or how to write the algorithm? First, what I am going to do, I already mentioned K is used as the index value or K is used as a counter. Okay. What I will do here is when I am writing the algorithm, I will just write K is equal to LB. That means what? Now K is pointing to this one. K is pointing to first location. What do you mean by traversing? Traversing means you have to visit or you have to just process all the elements in the array. But when I am saying process, you are not mentioning what you are going to do, right? You can visit, you can, yeah, as I already mentioned, you can assess the data, you can input the data, you can do anything. Okay. So what I am going to do here is, I'll just write process what? LA of K. Process LA of K. That means I am visiting or I am inserting the data or I am doing something on the LA of K. That is on the first element. Till what? I have to go till UB. My K should be equal to UB, right? So what I am going to do? I'll increment the K. After that I'll increment the K. K is equal to K plus 1. I will increment the K value. Now when I increment the K value will become 2. After that I process that LA of K, that is LA of 2, then I'll increment again. So like that it will goes on till what? Till it becomes UB. So I'll have the formula or condition while K is lesser than or equal to UB. Traversing means I have to process values present in the linear array. When I am saying processing, it can be anything, whether you are going to visit or whether you are going to assess the data or whether you are going to do some routine mathematical operation, it can be anything. So I'll just write process LA of K. Before that, K or the counter value, it is initialized to LB, that is lower bound. Now K is equal to, after the processing the first element, I am going to increment the K value or the counter value. So K is equal to K plus 1. After that, I am going to repeat the loop here. Okay. Traversing linear arrays using the while. I'll show how to write the algorithm again. While coming to algorithm, you are going to have two parts. First one is description part. The second one is your algorithm or the steps you are going to have. So let me write the description. Algorithm 4.1, that is a number of the algorithm since it is the first algorithm in your 4th chapter. After that I have to write the description, so I'll write that given LA in or is a linear array with what? I have to mention what is the lower bound and the upper bound also. So I will mention with lower bound LB, and I have to mention the upper bound also, and upper bound UB. This algorithm traverses, because I have to mention what is done here, LA or linear array, and process each element, that much is. Then I am going to write the steps here. What is the first step? In the first step, okay, before that I have to mention the, I can give the comment also here about what is the algorithm. So traversing linear array, that is what I am going to do here. Now step 1. Step 1, I have to initialize it. What I have to initialize? At the beginning I have initialized, that is K was initialized to LB. So let me initialize that. Set K, how to assign the value, colon, and then equal to LB. What is done here? I am initializing, right? Okay. I'll write the comment also. Initializing. Initializing what? I am initializing K. K is what? K is counter. It is used for incrementation purpose, right? Similar to I or J in your program. Then step 2. After that I have to process that LA of K, and after that I have to increment the K value, that is counter value. But the processing of LA of K and the incrementation of K value, it is not done for only one step, it is done until the K becomes equal to UB, right? Or it is a condition where you have to have, right? So I am going to write the condition, repeat, let me write steps, but I'll write what is step later. Steps, while, let me use while condition, while K is lesser than or equal to. When you are writing the algorithm, you have to write lesser than symbol, and below that you have to write one dash, that becomes lesser than or equal to, but that cannot be done here. Lesser than or equal to, till where the K can go, or what is the highest value K of K, it can go till UB. So repeat while steps, K is lesser than or equal to UB. Step 3, I have to process it, right? Since it comes under while, I am giving the tab process, or since it is a function, I will write capital, process LA of K. Since it is a function, I will put that process LA of K. Okay. Or when you write as in the algorithm, I have to write it in words, right? So what I am going to apply process in LA of K or to LA of K. Then Step 4, where I have to increment the counter. Set k again is equal to k plus 1. I have to write the comment, I have to end the loop. So end step 2 loop. What about this one? Increase counter. What about this one? I am visiting element or processing element, something, right? Process element. Right, I am processing element of the particular this one. Step 5, I have already processed every element, right? So what is the last step I have to do? Exit. This is end of your algorithm. Steps 3 to 4. Okay. Let me implement again the linear arrays, traversing of the linear arrays using the for loop. When I am going to apply the algorithm using the for loop, it becomes very easier. Why? Because in the for loop only we have the initialization, or applying the next I will implement the same algorithm using the for loop. Implementation of the same algorithm using the for loop, it becomes very simple because in the for loop it has 3 steps, that is initialization, condition and the incrementation or the decrementation. While coming to while, they are considered separately, initialization separately, condition separately and the incrementation or the decrementation separately. Step 1 is initialization, step 2 is condition and the step 4 is incrementation or the decrementation. But in the for loop, or when you are using the for loop, it is done together. In the same step you have the initialization, condition and the incrementation or the decrementation. So I'll do that also. I'll show how to do that. This is the same thing of the previous algorithm description part. I'll not go there again. So let me directly go to the step 1 or step 1. When you are writing step 1, again since it is a loop, you have to start with the repeat for k. Since it's a for loop, I'll use for k is equal to LB to UB. So what I am doing here? I am assigning the value here only, that is initializing also, and I am mentioning the range also. It should be from LB to UB. That means it is the condition or the range should be till UB. So it is something like till UB it can go. And what about incrementation or decrementation? Yeah, that is taken here only. See, because it is mentioning LB to UB. So if the LB is smaller and the UB is greater one, then it is automatically incremented plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Or if you want to decrement, then you can have something like this one. LB is the greater value and the UB is the smaller value. Now consider the example. LB is the greater value and the UB is the smaller value. That time what will happen? It will automatically decrease one by one, one by one, one by one. Apply process to LA of K. end of loop. Since I'm only having one step in the for loop, I need not mention, or one step inside the for loop, I need not mention the separate step for it. Step 2, exit. That is the end of the algorithm. Thank you.